Another episode, second time this day of the AAU Overtime Podcast. Jordan DeLuciano here as always, and joining me now is the Division One October Player of the Month, representing Fordham University, Anthony DeMario. Anthony, thanks for joining the podcast, and congratulations on winning the Player of the Month.
Thank you for having me, Jordan. I'm happy to be here.
No problem, man. So, right off the bat, Player of the Month of October in Division One, best player in Division One. How's that honor feel?
Feels great, but first off, I want to give props to my line mates, Owen Gillette and Carmine Patelli. This is an award that I'm going to accept on behalf of all three of us. I feel like I wouldn't be here without them too on my line.
Yeah, those guys, they were here with you last year. What year are you on the team right now with Fordham? You've been through a lot with these two guys, right? They were with you guys as well as last year during your Nationals push.
Yeah, so this is actually my fifth year at Fordham. I'm a graduate student. It's my fourth season because of the COVID lockout. Owen's a senior, so I've known him for a long time, about 4 years now, and Carmine's a sophomore. But, he stepped into a real leadership role this year.
Did you know these two guys coming into Fordham, or you guys met on the team?
We met on the team.
Okay, gotcha. It's I remember calling games last year against Farmdale with you three on the squad this year as well. You guys off to a good start, this year battling that tough Empire Conference. Before we get into that Empire Conference a little bit more and Fordham in general, growing up before coming to Fordham, anybody you looked up to watching that helped grow your game? What were your beginnings in hockey?
Yeah, so definitely from day one in travel, I always got the heat for wearing number 87. So I'm going with Sid the Kid. He's excellent stick handling, great perception of the game, and he's going to score when he's not supposed to. So that's what I like. And he's been a point per game every season, so that's another thing, consistency.
Yeah. You grew up a Pens fan?
Oh, no, actually a Rangers fan. So I grew up.
That's weird. Yeah. No wonder why you took so much slack then. Being a Ranger fan and liking Sidney Crosby. I would say the Rangers, if it's not the Devils, their biggest rival, it's not even the Islanders, it's the Penguins right now.
Yeah, it was a great playoff series they had a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and for the longest time, not now, Penguins kind of struggling now, but like during the beginning of Sid's days, it was Penguins and Rangers, two of the best teams in the East always. Penguins winning the Cup and the Rangers kind of just being right there. But you got to be happy right now what the Rangers are doing. I feel like they don't lose.
Yeah, it's unreal. They get the first goal almost every game. And they just keep playing through the entire game. And they got Quick and Shesterkin back there. So absolutely rock solid there.
That was a good addition for Quick because Shesterkin got hurt. He was just back the other night, but he got hurt for a little bit, and Quick stepped up. And you guys haven't even missed a beat with Fox being on LTIR.
That too. I mean, I heard he's coming back pretty soon, so I'm really looking forward to that.
And then what's it called? What's his name? Loff. Loff's finally, I don't know how he's been doing as of late, but I've been seeing that the season he's kind of found his scoring touch a bit. Definitely a better sign than what you've been getting the past couple of years with Loff.
Yeah, definitely he's getting his confidence. Happy to see him stepping up. And, maybe he'll be like all-star game this year, hopefully.
The forward on your team right now that's going to probably get the nod is Panarin. Ever since that guy shaved his head, he's been great. Don't get me wrong with the Rangers. I hear people criticize playoffs, but barring that, he's been great regular season player. This year, it's been a huge difference for him. Obviously, the head shave, but for the joke. But he's been scoring a lot more this year.
Every game, it's he doesn't let up. He's been letting it fly too. He's been hitting the net a lot. So. Yeah, they're going in. He's just does everything. Great player.
He's been. I was hoping I'm an Islander fan when he was on the free agent market, the Islanders would scoop a guy like that. But of course, the Rangers snagged him, and the guy's just been a beast ever since he's been there. Now the goal scoring's coming from him, so can't go wrong. Oh, I thought they were going to get Patty Kane, get him back, but now he's in Detroit.
That's new this morning, right?
What's up?
That's new this morning or yesterday. He got signed.
Yeah, just brand new. I think like early yesterday. Yeah, early yesterday morning, and he's keeping the number 88. I'm pretty sure he's sticking with 88. I think Sprong on Detroit's giving it to him. But away from the Rangers, Patrick Kane, Anthony, Fordham University. You go to your grad student year. You mentioned what brought you to Fordham University.
So it's pretty close to home. It's about a half-hour drive in the Bronx. I live there, but it's still really good to be close to home, close to my family. Another thing, it was a great opportunity for me to play hockey in college without taking a gap year. That's not really something I wanted to do. And AAU hockey is just exactly what I wanted in college hockey. So I'm happy to be here. And also, it's a great business school at Fordham. So I'm enjoying my education there as well.
Anything specific in business that you are pursuing there?
I'm studying finance. I'd like to go into real estate though.
Okay. Anybody else in the family that has pursued that career, or you're first?
My dad was also finance, but he's not real estate.
Okay. And what about hockey? Growing up in hockey, did anyone in your family? I know the guy had him before from Paul Smith's college, a team you faced just recently. He said how his father grew up in the game, but I've also had people that come on the pod that said, "No, I'm the first one to play." But anyone in your family played hockey before you?
Yeah, my dad played Division One independent at Iona. He coached me for a while growing up until I was about 15 or 16, and then I branched out a little bit. But yeah, definitely big influence from there, and my brother as well, younger brother.
Okay, gotcha. Is he your younger brother in college yet?
Yes, he's at U Miami.
Okay, you might. What are they? Are they different level club? Or are they ACHA?
I think they have an AAU D3 team, but
Okay.
it's a bit of a commuting issue for him, so I don't think he did that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not doing it. So last year's Fordham team to now this year, any differences you see? Any turnover in terms of graduating class from last year? Is there a young group this year? Any difference that opens your eye with last year to this year?
Yeah, so the major difference I would say is probably the leadership. Captain Eamon Croucher, as well as all three of our assistants, they've really stepped up both on and off the ice. They're all great teammates. They're all great people, and they lead by example. And that's the most important thing for a hockey team, for everyone to get on the same page. Um, Another thing I'd like to shout out the sophomore class right now: Carmine Patelli, Declan Pierce, Andy Carlson, Danny Kohler, Bobby Rotundo, and our goalie Dan Gertz is rock solid between the pipes. So I have to give props to them. They've really stepped up this year into some roles.
Yeah, to go down the list, why don't everyone's got to get a tip of the cap? Like you mentioned right at the tip of the podcast. I think you're the first one to say it. When I always ask the guys who win the player of the months, like how they feel, you're the first one to, mention everyone else's name before your owns. But try to get specifically to you now. Last year, you had a very strong year on point production. I believe you were just over a point a game on the season. This year, it's now a completely different animal. You're really now multiple points per game of that last year's production. Anything you've noticed in a difference in terms of your game now away from Fordham in general, your game specifically, that has really drastically increased your point production?
Yeah, so my entire life, I've been a center. This entire year, I've been playing left wing, though. And when you got a guy like Carmine Patelli playing center, he's all over the ice. He's a 200-foot player. He just makes everything easier. So playing with a guy like that really lets me, focus on goal scoring when he's getting the puck out and still putting the puck in the net at the same time. So he's a great player to have between me and OG, Owen Gillette.
Patelli, was it flipped last year? Was he on the wing? You were down the middle?
I was actually a center and he was another center.
Oh, so 1 and 2. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. All right, that makes sense. So this year, you guys had a strong start. You had a big overtime win against Farmingdale's D1 team, a team that you were pretty close last year. I remember there was a home. You guys were on the road. You guys had a come from behind push, wound up losing in overtime last year. This year, you got over the hump, knocking them off. Then you tie Quinnipiac. You had a shoot, not specifically a shootout, but just a battle against NYCHC. So a solid start. But then you guys hit a little bit of a skid in the beginning of November. What happened in that tough stretch in the beginning of November? How are you guys able to bounce back now?
So the lineup, battling some tough injuries. At the same time, that's kind of the point where our practices slow down a little bit. So we're more second half heavy, closer to the playoffs and nationals. So only practicing once a week. It's very tough and not going to make any excuses. But I'm happy that we're in every single game we played. All 13 games we played have been very close. We've had an opportunity to win. So the effort's there. It's just a matter of learning from our mistakes and getting hot at the right time, February and March.
I ask this all the time just to get other viewers, players around the league, just a glimpse into some teams that they haven't seen yet. So I ask you this now. So far, who have you seen has been your this team, maybe yours specifically or the team in general, their toughest opponent so far in this season?
Our team, honestly, I think the worst matchup for us is probably Fairfield. They got a lot of guys that can move and they shoot the puck very often. Even though we played them to 5-3 close games, I feel we had a chance to win both of those games. And another weekend like that, playing them twice in the same weekend, we could come out with 2 wins. So definitely a good opponent there.
When you guys have big wins and you had that tie against Quinnipiac, talked about that big win against Farmingdale over earlier in the year, a team that you were so close last year, just couldn't get over the hump. Then that tie against Quinnipiac. What was the difference in that game, Farmingdale game specifically? Those 1-goal tie games in the past against the Rams as well, Farmingdale, they were going not in your favor. This time you get the job done. What was the difference? What was the vibe of that game?
The difference in that game was our goalie, Daniel Gertz, absolutely bailed us out many times. Um, we go up 1-0, they tie it. We go up 2-1, they tie it. We go up 3-2, they tie it. And then finally, we get the next one in overtime, and they could have had 7 if it weren't for Dan Gertz. So I got to, hat to him.
Wasn't it you that got that overtime winner, I believe?
It was, but it was a wide open net.
How'd that play marinate? How'd you wind up getting that open net?
So very long shift, about a minute and a half. I was very close to coming off the ice, and I see Carmine with the puck, and I see a 2-on-1, and the net's just staring me in the face. So I'm like, all right, I got to take it. Let's end the game here. Carmine put a perfect shot on the pad and played out in our favor. Great game. Great win to start the season for us.
That's a big make or break play because, like you said, you was Carmine out there just as long like you were.
Yeah, it was first shift overtime. I think it was about 3:30, 3:20 left.
So that's a big make or break decision. Do I take this 2-on-1, and if it doesn't work out, it's an odd man rush potentially the other way, and now me and Carmine are both tired and trapped, or do I hop off, let Carmine go 1-on-1 with a fresh body out there? So good to see it paid off for you and your fellow forward out there in order to get the win. Going down for the rest of the season to try to stay competitive in the Empire and push to nationals. What do you see you guys having to do to maintain your consistency to finish the season strong?
So as I mentioned earlier, I think we just need to learn from our mistakes. We've made some minor ones, nothing too major, but we need to just be aware of when they happen and eliminate them from happening in the same game in future games. And if we single those out and we all take accountability, then we can definitely learn from our mistakes and get some wins.
Last year at the AAU National Championship, you guys had a taste of what it was like. Any words that have been spoken maybe throughout the season so far, or to any younger guys that are coming in, new faces on the group, what it's going to be like competing at the national tournament this year?
Yeah, so basically it's the best weekend of hockey of the year. It's just every year the tournament's outstanding. The staff, all the amenities they have, it's just fantastic. And it's a great goal, to work towards and to inspire the team with that reward.
So Anthony DeMario, the Division I Player of the Month of October, representing Fordham University. Once again, congratulations on that honor. Off to a great start this year on a rapid pace in terms of point production. Again, thank you for joining the podcast, Anthony.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it.
No problem. Alongside Anthony DeMario, my name is Jordan DeLuciano for the AAU Overtime Podcast. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you all next week. Waiting to see if we're off air. It's still loading.